Hi there, and welcome to another episode of True Talks with Jess, where we discuss the real behind the real, the things that are happening in real life of superheroes behind the real, the Instagram reel, the Facebook reel, the Snapchat filters, and in real life. This week's guest is Sara E, psychotherapist, the evolution catalyst, and the founder and creator of the podcast As She Evolves.
To an episode of True Talks with Jess. We are here with the real behind the real. So the real deal with superheroes, talking about their struggle and the amazing things that they're doing now as a result of overcoming their struggle. I am so excited to have with me today my very good friend, Sara E. I'm going to read you her bio. I'm not. Sara is thebomb.com. Sara is an amazing wife and mom. She's a very good friend of mine, and she is a mental health counselor here in the state of Florida. Sara has a boutique therapy practice here in South Florida. She's in Aventura, she's in Ivisdale, and she works with moms, women, and really helps them to evolve into their best version of themselves. Today, Sara and I will be discussing mom guilt, resilience, and her evolution as a mental health therapist. We're going to talk about what got Sara from being someone else's employee to really evolving into somebody who teach people how to live their life on purpose, in purpose, for purpose, and evolve into their best self. Welcome, Sara!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that warm welcome.
You're welcome. I'm so happy to have you. So,
I'm happy to be here.
tell me the truth. What has been the hardest part for you in your evolution journey?
The hardest part for me has been myself. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. This is true talk. So the hardest part has been myself. Actually, the little voices that you hear in your head, those are the voices that I've been having issues with silencing. Because not that I don't know my purpose, I know I've always known my purpose, but there's always that little gremlin in your ear trying to steer you away from the path. So that's the gremlins. They're the ones that have been battling, have been challenging, to step aside and let me walk on that journey that I have to walk.
And what has been the most helpful thing in that? So like, what do the gremlins say? So we always talk about like, don't be the peanut gallery, identify your narrative. And that's real cute in therapy. But what do the gremlins tell you? What is that thing the gremlins like, hey, don't do that? What is the thing that's like, oh, I don't know. Should I evolve? Can I evolve? What's been the theme?
Like, you don't know what you're doing. No one is going to listen to you. No one wants to hear what you have to say. You're a fraud. So imposter syndrome is really big. So they really amplify that. Even if you don't want to believe it, you keep hearing it over and over. So it just makes you question yourself. It makes me question whether or not I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and whether or not people are actually going to get a benefit out of what I have to say. Or if people are going to say, you know what, like, I don't want to hear what she has to say, or she doesn't even know what she's talking about. So those are the main things that, you keep hearing over and over, and that you have to actually try to challenge them every single day. Like, they really, really, like, they work overtime.
They got a full-time job, huh, sis?
Oh my gosh, they work overtime. And it's like, it's a constant daily struggle.
So how are you fighting it? What do you like? What is like your go-to top 3 things to say, hey, this is like this gremlin pops up and I counteract with that and it's proven beneficial and helpful for me? Yeah, you
Sorry, like my little munchkin.
Yes.
He got into my book, but this is how I'm fighting it. Like, honestly, this is how I'm fighting. You know how usually when you ask people what's your favorite book, and sometimes you'll have that person who wants to make it seem like they're a really good person. They'll tell you, oh, my favorite book is the Bible, but then you're like, okay, you read the first page in the beginning, God created. So but with this is so true. Like, that's how I'm fighting it, with prayer, constant prayer without ceasing, because I figured out I cannot do it on my own. I've tried, and I always get back to where I started. So I bought this book 2 years ago. I didn't even touch it. And then finally something kept telling me, like, I kept passing by my bookshelf. I'm like, you know what? It's time. It's time. Because like my purpose is not for me. That's not why he gave it to me. I have women out in the world who are waiting to hear what I have to say so they can be healed. So like, Sarah, stop tripping. Like, really, stop
Right.
tripping.
Right. Now we're on our personal phone call time because now we about to get into the nitty gritty. This is how our everyday calls go, guys. This is just like legitimately the behind the scenes. So with that being said, what is resiliency, that bounce back factor? So when you feel like when the gremlins win that one day where you're like, you know, I'm gonna throw in the towel, I'm gonna get a job at Aldi's pay $60,000 a year to stuff asparagus. I'm gonna be a great asparagus stucker. When that pops in, you're like, I don't have to do this anymore. I'm going back to work. And they win for that day or they win for that week. How do you become resilient and kind of like, okay, I'm bounce back. It's time to fight again. How, like, I don't feel like praying. I'm not going to call and ask for help. Like, I'm just in this corner and cry and pray that I'll wake up tomorrow. Like, how do you bounce back from that? Like that gripping, this isn't going to work.
I allow myself that moment to actually feel those emotions. Like, there was a point where I was trying not to feel at all. And I thought that it wasn't okay to feel upset. It wasn't okay to feel frustrated, especially being a therapist and actually helping other people and having them come on. I always had the expert hat on. I never took it off. So then I wasn't being true to myself and true to my own emotions. And then finally, like, honestly, like when I had people, I had you, I had Marlene, I had even my husband. I started listening to him. I wasn't listening to him. I was like,
That is a
whatever,
whole,
you
matter
all
of fact,
understand.
shout out to
Like,
Fred Elize, out to these films, like extraordinary husband of the year, like just great, amazing.
yes,
Marry an amazing man, ladies. Wait till you ask somebody that really wants to see purpose and passion in you
yes.
that will drive you when you want to stop. Shout out to all the husbands out here killing it in the game, making sure we stay in our alignment, and they are our bounce
No,
back
it's
trampoline.
true.
Fred, you are the real deal, sir. Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you. Shout out.
He has been, yes, he has been,
Whole movement.
he has been like a force in my life. And I know it took a long time for me to actually like tell him that and actually communicate that to him. But because of him, he's like, listen, I believe in your purpose more than you believe in it. It's okay, you could be sad right now, but I'm not gonna let you stay in it. And then when the kids come, I'm like, I don't want them to see me that way. So then that's my motivation. Like, that has kept me from, and also knowing that this is not for me. My purpose that he has given me is not for me. I'm living out this purpose. I have something in me that people need to hear. It's like you're carrying the antidote to the venom that's going to remove the venom in someone, and then you're going to sit there and not take it to them. Like, that
Come
that
on, woman
feeling,
of
that
God.
thought, that belief,
Preach that
that
thing.
belief is
Yes.
like what got me to, like, Sarah, it's okay, you're sad, you're frustrated, you want to give up, get on your knees and pray and get back up, get to work.
You mentioned the boys, my little buddies, my nephews. Let's talk about mom guilt. Like letting them see you vulnerable, letting them see you fail, letting them see you cry, thinking that you just sit in an office and talk. Mommy just talks and plays with the crayons in her couch. Like,
Yes. That's what they believe.
how does mom guilt play a role? Because I know that you had like 7 million jobs at one point.
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about your journey. So like, I know you personally, you're one of my very, very good friends. And the world may not know the true you. And I think that offering that truth of who you are is a gift. It's a gift to me. It blessed me immensely. I think that people need to hear, like, what is mom guilt? What is it like to be pregnant and work all the way till the end, like almost lose your life in pregnancy, work so much that you miss out on what you work so hard for? Let's get into the nitty. Let's tell the truth. Like, what's the tea, Sarah? Come on, the people want to know.
No problem, no problem. I mean, I've always been an overachiever, workaholic, um, and when kids got in the mix, I continued that way. Like, my first with Nathan, I worked up until up until the 9th month. And like the doctor was like, that's it. I went to the doctor's appointment. I'm like, can I keep going? He's like, no, today's your last day. Like, call right now. Like, call them right now. If you need to email, whatever it is, call them right now. Tell them you're not going back to work. That's it. So as soon as I had him, and then I just went right back to work. I was just working because in my mind, I've always thought that I had to give him a better life than I had. Not that I didn't have a great life. My parents, they provided a great life for us, but like I wanted to give them more. So I just had the mindset that I had to continue grinding no matter what. And then I took for granted the fact that I had such a big community of support because I had my sisters, the grandparents who at the drop of a dime, like they would pick them up for me, take care of them. So I had the luxury that a lot of people do not have, to be able to like work up until like 12 hours a day. But then I started to realize, okay, my kids are suffering. I'm forgetting field trips. Man, the day that I forgot to pay for Nathan's lunch, and he came home and told me, Mom, I think they gave him a peanut butter jelly sandwich or a cheese sandwich or something like that. And I didn't know where to put myself, because when you have empathy, you feel what others feel. So I put myself in his shoes. My mom was working hard, making this money, and I have my dad who's working hard. But then, like, I can't even get what I want to eat that day. Like, it just sat me down, and I'm like, I started to feel so bad. And I remember we had that conversation where you were like, don't feel bad, at least he got to eat, because there are some kids who don't get to eat. And he knows that you're working hard. He knows that you would have been there, you would have done it for him if you could have. So don't feel bad. And that's why it's important to have good people in your corner who actually are rooting for you for real, who want to see you succeed, and who, when you're down, they're not kicking you further down. They're actually helping you, pick you back up. It's good to have those people in your corner, because that's what has helped me with mom guilt. Like with my sister, she's like, man, you're a great mom. Don't feel bad. You can't give them everything. You can have millions and you still can't give them everything. Just do the best that you can. That's what has helped me to deal with mom guilt, knowing that I am doing the best that I can today, and I'm going to work on doing even better every day.
One thing, I'm going to shout you out, and they're going to know all your business because that's just what we're here for. So Sara, this is her first year in private practice. She's left a full-time job in February of this year. And Sara plans weekly field trips with the boys. We were able to go to Miami Zoo, Metro Zoo, whatever it's called, recently. And the boys got there and they were like, are we still in Florida? Like, and just to be able to have that time to set aside, like, well, mom guilt might have been the thing to push you to work and work and work and work and work and work and work. You have resolved in your evolution process to say, hey, like, everything that might have been stolen respect, I'm going to be there to capture every moment, every smile. You're going to PTA meetings now in the middle of the week. I'm like, where are you going? I have a PTA meeting. Live your best life, sis. No problem. Something that was really like very hard for you in December, October, even January of this year, and sometimes throughout, is now propelling you to be so much more present. You've not missed a lunch date since. You brought costumes on time, days early, like everything they need. You've been there and you've been on point. You show up. We've done birthday parties, volunteering, like really, really being present. And you may not be able to be the best mom at absolutely everything, but you are being the best mom that you can be. And just watching that evolution from you of, well, I'm not like so-and-so to now I'm going to be the best mom. I'm the best Sara for Nathan and Noah humanly possible. It's been such a pleasure. Even like in your photos, it shows up. Like there's something that glows about you now that you're walking in your purpose that is so different. Yes, you still struggle. Like, I know, like, the behind the reel, like the real. And I know how hard that still is for you. But you still get up, you wash your face, put it together, you pray and you keep it moving. And you have learned to not be afraid to ask for help. There was a point I didn't know if you were suffering at all. Like, I had no clue. Now you're like, Jess, before the problem even, I have this thought that might be a problem. What do you think? Whether it's a text message, a phone call, like, you're like, Mayday, help. how has learning to ask for help helped you with your mom guilt and your resilience, and how has it helped you be a better practitioner?
No longer do I feel like I'm being a hypocrite, because those are the things
Say
that
it,
I've
say it
been
so the people in the
telling.
back in the cheap seats can hear, because that was the word,
You
ma'am.
know,
Say it with
yeah,
your
no,
chest.
like I no longer feel like I'm being a hypocrite. Like I feel like I'm really being authentic. I'm out here telling people be authentic, live your best life. But sis, are you living your best life? Like, are you being authentic?
Wow.
So I have these women coming in and out of the office, and mind you, telling them like, you can be the best. You're the best that you are right now. You don't have to be perfect to be amazing. We know we have all these things that we say. I had to actually tell myself, you gotta start living it, because you're dealing with matters of the heart and mind, and that's serious. When I have somebody who comes in my office, who calls me from that first call,
Oh, I don't know what happened. You started breaking up.
like, it's on. Like, I take it very serious, because where I needed someone like me, someone like you, to be there for me. And I was always able to pick up whether or not you were being real with me. Like, you just are you just saying things because you just have me here, you want to fill your practice, or like, do you really want to see me live to my full potential? So I told myself, I have to live the life that I'm teaching my clients to live. I have to
Ooh,
live the life that I want my kids to grow up living. And I want it to be something that is transferred generationally,
yes.
not just now. I had to there was a point where I was quiet. I was quiet. I'm like, man, I really hope like Jessica or whoever like I'm not really speaking to don't take it in a wrong way. But like, I have to sit myself down and look at myself in the mirror, like, naked, look at myself and start accepting the nakedness that I see. Not start looking at all the flaws, but looking at myself right now, and accept who I am right now, and then begin to work on what I need to do to grow and evolve into the person that my kids need me to be, my friends need me to be, my clients need me to be. Like, Sarah, get real. Like, stop playing. That's me now. Like, stop playing. Get real.
I think
Mm-hmm.
what's so valid about that is that you got real and transparent with yourself first. Like, you got
Yes.
quiet, you got with God, and you said, hey, Sarah, what does Sarah need to do for Sarah to be where she needs to be? And I remember that was like a very weird time in our friendship, because you were very quiet. It was like 30 times a day talking to nothing. And I was like, are we good? But also in that time, we did EMDR, we did EFT, we did so much time of like crying and praying and doing our own work. Like, that wasn't an option or experience prior when we were doing agency work, where it's like, this is going on. Like, it was like, now I want to evolve into who I need. And it's so interesting. The wall purpose is for someone else. When you discovered it in you, that was where your healing came. That's when you were no longer guilty. Like, and you're like, your swag was different. I was like, yes, Sarah, come on. Yes. Like, for real, like, even into like wearing your natural hair, like doing your nails, things that fill you and spark joy in you. It was unapologetic. Like, this is what I'm going to do. I like my eyebrows this way. I like my hair this way. This is what I want to wear. Before it was like, oh, well, will somebody accept me? Now you're like, yo, this is who I am. Like, either you like it or you love it. There's nothing in between. Figure it out, And I think that that's so important, because we talk so much as therapists. And I put that in quotes because I feel like that's like it's easy to sit behind that mask and say everything's okay. And to watch you as a therapist going through a therapeutic spiritual process to really find yourself, but then also seeing your humanity in your mom guilt, your resilience, even kind of like the staggering between, do I really want to do this? Can I do this? I think that's where I want to end. Like, so we talk about like having these dreams and these visions, and we get in our books and we pray and we're like, God gives us this vision and we're going to do it. Then we get to day one and we're like, am I supposed to do this? Like, were you serious? Let's go back to the drawing board. So one of the things you noted in your interview questions, like, you have greatness in you, even if you don't know it. What would you tell a mom who is stuck between two opinions, who feels guilty, who doesn't know they can be resilient, who feels like they have to be stuck somewhere to meet the status quo and the norm? They've got to make X amount of dollars, do it this way. Like, they have to follow the rules to get to where they want to be. How would you tell somebody like that to evolve? What would be like the takeaway? This is how I fought my personal super struggle of mom guilt. Like, this is what, if you want to just fast forward to this part, and this would be the one, like, your highlight reel. What do you want to tell somebody who's like, yo, I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel. There's no hope. It doesn't matter. I don't matter. I'm responsible for these failures. I'm guilty. Like, what would you want that person to hear from somebody who's walked in their shoes?
Don't give up. That's the first thing I want to tell you. Don't give up. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, even if you can't see it right now. Do not give up. Like, there's different experiences in our lives that is going to make us feel like, okay, I'm not worthy, or I would never get success. And another thing is, success looks different for everyone. What's successful for you may not look like success for me. Success for me may be making sure that I always have enough money to pay my bills, and I'm good. Success could be, you know what? I have friends, in my corner. I'm good. Success for you could be you have $1 million. That's what's for you. Stop looking at some other people's journey, because then you're going to get lost on your own path. Because that's what I used to do, looking at other people's journey, looking at my age, my timeline, like, okay, why am I not here? Why am I not where they are? When you stop looking at other people and you start to look at yourself, even if the self that you see you don't like, guess what? Get you somebody who's going to help you get to that point.
Ma'am.
And that's why I'm happy that we were able to engage in EMDR and EFT tapping, where we really tapped into ourselves, tapped into the places that we needed healing. So yes, I am going to say it. We're therapists, right? And we know how beneficial therapy is. If you got to go and get you like 4 sessions, 1 session, whatever it is, do it. Get you a bomb therapist. Get you a bomb therapist who wants to see you succeed. I advocated, even if I wasn't a therapist, I would advocate it. I would promote it, because I see what the benefits are. I see the women who come in the office and they come in with their heads held down. I'm sorry. Like, I'm looking at my swag. I'm like, Sarah, your mind, your thoughts are starting to connect to your mouth. Because that was the point where I was like, I don't know what I want to say. Like, girl, like, look at me talking. Like, I don't know what I want to say. I don't know if the world wants to hear this. Like, listen, if you don't want to hear it, turn it off. Somebody else needs to hear it. Like, you are worthy. You are worthy to have it all. And it all is what God has for you. For you. Those children, they're watching you. That's another thing. Like, our kids are watching us, whether or not we know they are. And they're so proud of us. Even if it's like, Mom, oh my gosh, you made me a cheese sandwich. I'm proud. Like, they're so proud of us. And they're watching you. You're molding them. You have these little beings that are being molded into whoever they need to be. So they're watching how you're walking. So if you get to a point where you're like, I can't do this on my own, man, get you someone. And even if it's not a therapist, get you one friend that you could cultivate that friendship that will be able to give you that support that you need. That's what I did. And that's what I encourage people to do every day. Every day.
I am so proud of you. Like, I legitimately am holding back tears. And it's so funny to watch us both walk in our purpose. You just launched a podcast, girl. Tell us about your podcast. Snatching edges, sis. Like, I listened to Kendall's episode this morning, and my husband was like, "Are you leaving?" I had to go to an appointment at 10 o'clock. And he was like, "This is so good." And mind you, Kendall's Jesse's sister. And he was like, "Is that Kendall?" So I'm getting ready. He has to have I have it blasting on the Bluetooth speaker so he can hear it while I'm in the bathroom. He's getting ready. He's like, "This is so good." I was like, "That's Sarah." He was like, "Wait, that's Sarah and Kendall?" And he was just like, "Whoa." So just people that know us, that see what we're doing, it's like, hey, so like watching you and listening to you talk and just hearing like the passion and the power and the conviction about this is what it is, just like my heart is just, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
Tell people
you.
how to find you.
So I am on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I am Sarah Elise. Just like Champs-Élysées in France, Elysee. And I am also on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher as She Evolves with Sarah E.
And
And that
Spotify.
podcast, yes. So that podcast was created as a platform for women to be able to gain tools and hear from other women who are they matter of fact, you don't have to be already in a space where you're like, well, I'm killing it. No, you're walking on that journey of getting to that space. I wanted to create that space for women to come in and share about their journey, share what they've learned throughout the years, share what they're doing to get them to their purpose, how they are discovering their purpose. So when I started the podcast, I was like, okay, how am I gonna do it? You know, we talked about it for a while. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. And when I started, I'm like, man, I think I'm gonna give up. And again, my husband's like, nope, you're not gonna give up because it's not about you. You started it, you're gonna finish it. So with that podcast, I was like, you know what? Do I talk more? Do I talk more than the guest? And I'm like, no. This is a platform for people to come on to show the world and share the world their greatness, share their greatness to the world. So no, Sarah, you're going to ask a couple of questions, but sit back and let another sister shine. So that's what it's about. Teaching you what you need to do to shine and allowing the women who come on the podcast to have their moment to shine. That's what it's about.
Other than therapy, what else do you do? Are you a speaker? Do you do anything else
Yes.
that people should know about? Like, tell us about you. Like, how do we find you? How do we tap into your purpose? How does somebody who needs to hear more about what you're doing have that opportunity, whether it's a one-on-one, a speaking engagement? What other services, what other ways can you help somebody evolve other than sitting on your couch?
I am, other than just being a therapist, I am a speaker, and not just solely a motivational speaker, a speaker that is impactful, intentional, and the words that come out are not just words that I just let spew out. I am intentional with everything that I say, and I do it with purpose, and I make sure that it is God driven. Because again, I say that even if you're not on my couch, I'm dealing with your mind in your heart. So I am someone who, when I go out and I speak, I want to make sure that you came in feeling down, you're going to leave feeling confident and ready to conquer the world. I am also a writer. I love to write. That's one of like my favorite pastimes. I love to write. So if someone is looking for someone to be a guest blogger, you can find me. Mostly just go on Instagram. I've linked everything through my Instagram account, but I am also on www.soundmywellness.com and www.sarahelise.com. I am sarahelise.com for all the social media handles. And um, business owner, consultant for those who want to learn about private practice and how to start, how to run their private practice. Listen,
That part.
yes,
That part.
because I'm happy that I had people in my corner to help me and say, don't do this. But I know there's some people who you call someone and they actually, maybe don't pick up or they'll close the door in your face. I'm someone who I love to mentor people as well. But sometimes we have just limited spaces for mentorship. So if it comes to, you need just one consult call. You can reach me at 954-317-9161. But most definitely, if you go on Instagram, if it's not about therapy, you could DM me, because when it comes to like confidentiality and HIPAA laws, I don't discuss anything therapy related in the DMs. But if it has to do about business, you want to reach me. He's like, hey, I can't find your email address, which is info@sarahelise.com. You could just slide in my DMs, just respect the fact that I'm married. But if it has to do with business and your evolution and growth, slide in the DMs or send me an email. Check out the website, and I'll be very happy to work with you or to come out to any event that you have and any speaking engagement that you have. And I'm all for women growth and power.
I don't know what happened. I think I lost you. Went out for a second. But okay, so you're not going to say it, so I'm going to say it. Sara is a qualified supervisor here in the state of Florida.
Oh my gosh, I did not
mental
forget
health clinician.
that.
You're on the road to being what you need a supervisor. Stop everything you are doing and get with Sara. Sara is absolutely dynamic. Over 16 years, I believe, in the field, has worked in every area possible. Group homes, management, administration, direct service, case management, like the gamut. So if you're looking to really develop and hone skills as a clinician, and you don't want to play games, if you want to play games, don't call her, don't tell her I sent you. But if you really want to be excellent at your craft and you want to be able to really, really help people, get with Sara. There are very limited spots available because she's not going to burn herself out. But get with Sara. Your camera just went out. How weird. Get with Sara, and she just opened this, like not even fully announced yet. Get you qualified to supervise and help you. You're going to give your business plan and walk away. I'm going to walk with you hand in hand, push you and challenge you to the greatness, to the evolution that you need. And Sara will soon be an author because she's going to write that book she's been writing forever. So make sure you check out to wait for the book to drop because it's on its way. Yep, I called you out live and direct, called out. She'll be an author soon too. So look out for it. It's about to be a whole household name. It's about to be a whole movement. Get it while it's for the low now because it's going up. Prices are going up. Status is going up. Elevation is coming. So if you would like to get on the bandwagon now, I suggest you do so. Okay, thanks.
Yes.
Do you have anything else you want to say before we close out?
I actually want to congratulate you on creating this, because a lot of times we as clinicians are afraid to be as authentic as possible. We don't know how, and also maintain the integrity of the profession. But you've created it and you set it up in a way where we can still maintain that integrity of the profession, but still be raw and real with those who need to hear us. So then, even if you're not coming on my couch, you can still receive the resources that you need, the information that you need, and the healing, to start the healing process. So I want to thank you for that.
I appreciate you so much. I'm going to close out with a quote from Sara. It reads, "The journey to self-discovery begins at the foundation. Embrace who you are and release the expectation that everyone has to like you. You are enough and do not need the approval of everyone to validate that." You are enough and you do not need the approval of everyone to validate that. So if you don't take anything else away from this, evolve, be the best version of you humanly possible. If status quo is not needed, create a new status, create a new table, build a lane where there was no road, figure it out, chart your own course. Don't shrink to fit in places that are too small to hold you. Be the best version of you, whatever that is, whatever that looks like. Be amazing, evolve, and we'll see you guys next week on True Talks with Jess. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Truth Talks with Jess, the real behind the real. Look forward to seeing you next week here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram and on Facebook at The Jess Jefferson, as well as at SW Social Support. Look forward to seeing you then. Bye.